Behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood spotlights, many celebrity parents face challenges that millions of ordinary families understand all too well: raising children with special needs. These stars may walk red carpets and appear in blockbuster films, but at home they navigate the same complex world of therapies, doctor appointments, and advocacy that all special needs parents recognize. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 20 remarkable celebrities who've opened their hearts and shared their journeys raising children with various special needs, from autism to rare genetic disorders. What's truly extraordinary isn't their fame, but how these high-profile parents have used their platforms to change perceptions, increase awareness, and make the world a more accepting place for all children with special needs. Before we begin our countdown, I'd like you to think about something. Which of these celebrity parents do you think has made the biggest impact in advocating for special needs awareness? Make your guess now and see if you're right by the end of our journey together. From Hollywood legends to music superstars, these 20 celebrities have transformed their personal challenges into powerful advocacy. Their stories remind us that special needs parenting transcends fame, fortune, and status. It's about unconditional love, tireless dedication, and finding beauty in unexpected journeys. Let's dive into their remarkable stories. Celebrity number 1, Sylvester Stallone. When you think of Sylvester Stallone, you likely picture the tough guy persona of Rocky or Rambo, characters who overcome impossible odds through sheer determination. But few realize that Stallone's greatest battle has been fought not on screen, but in his role as father to his son Sergio, who was diagnosed with autism at just 3 years old. Despite being advised to place Sergio in a specialized facility, Stallone and his then-wife, Sasha Chak, made the decision to care for their son at home. What makes Stallone's story particularly notable is that he was one of the first major Hollywood figures to speak openly about autism. In 1990, when public awareness about autism was still minimal, Stallone filmed a public service announcement declaring, "Imagine your child has autism, mine does." This was a groundbreaking moment of visibility for a condition that was often kept hidden from public view. Beyond just speaking out, Stallone and Chak established a research fund administered by the National Society for Children and Adults with Autism. At a time when funding for autism research was severely lacking, their contributions made a significant difference. Stallone has spoken candidly about how having a child with autism changed his perspective on life and fatherhood. In interviews, he's described how he had to put aside his ego and become his son's playmate rather than trying to force a traditional father-son relationship. "There is no real father and son thing there," Stallone once noted. "I have to become his playmate. With a child like this, you have to put away your ego." Now, in his mid-40s, Sergio Stallone maintains a very private life, largely away from the public eye, a privacy that his famous father has fiercely protected. While Stallone has continued his Hollywood career, his role as an autism dad remains one of his most important, if less publicized, contributions to society. Celebrity number 2, Holly Robinson Peete. Actress Holly Robinson Peete, known for her roles in 21 Jump Street and Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, has become one of Hollywood's most vocal advocates for autism awareness since her son RJ was diagnosed at age 3. When RJ was diagnosed in 2000, the Peetes were given what Holly now calls the Never Day, a devastating list of all the things their son would supposedly never do. Never mainstream in school, never make friends, never work a meaningful job, never live independently. It was a grim prognosis that would have crushed many parents, but Holly and her husband, former NFL quarterback Rodney Peete, refused to accept it. The journey wasn't easy. Holly has been remarkably candid about how RJ's diagnosis tested her marriage, revealing in interviews that she was once ready to leave Rodney because of his initial denial about their son's condition. Rodney was on denial street, she explained, noting that he couldn't even bring himself to say the word autism at first. This honest portrayal of the strain that can occur in marriages facing a child's diagnosis has resonated with countless families in similar situations. What transformed the Peete story from personal struggle to public advocacy was their decision to share their experiences openly. In 2007, Holly chose to speak publicly about RJ's autism. Despite her husband's concerns that it might label their son for life, she felt compelled to raise awareness, especially for other Black families navigating autism diagnoses who are often underrepresented in autism advocacy. In 1997, the couple founded the Holly Rod Foundation, which supports families affected by autism and Parkinson's disease. Their work has helped countless families access resources they might otherwise have been unable to afford. What makes Holly's advocacy particularly powerful is her balanced approach, celebrating progress while acknowledging ongoing challenges and always emphasizing her son's humanity over his diagnosis. The biggest stigma that I'd like to put to bed is that people with autism are not intelligent, that they're not smart, or that they don't have emotions, she has stated. "Maybe we don't try to bend and shape my son son to fit the world. Maybe the world needs to fit him. Celebrity number 3, Colin Farrell. Irish actor Colin Farrell is known for his intense performances and formerly wild lifestyle, but becoming father to a son with special needs transformed him in ways his fans might never have expected. Farrell's son James, born in 2003, has Angelman syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that affects the nervous system and causes developmental delays, speech impairment, and seizures. Children with Angelman syndrome often have balance issues and can experience intellectual disability, though they typically have happy, excitable personalities, often characterized by frequent smiling and laughter. What makes Farrell's journey particularly compelling is his openness about how having James saved him from his own self-destructive path. By virtue of his honesty, struggle, persistence, and his personality, James brings out the best in people, Farrell revealed at a charity event. He literally saved my life. I was on a destructive path. When I couldn't make the changes in my life for myself, I made them for James. He gave me the reason to be a better man and father. Farrell has been remarkably candid about the challenges and joys of raising a child with special needs. He's spoken about the heartbreak of watching his sons struggle with everyday tasks that come easily to most children, but also about the profound lessons in resilience and joy that James has taught him. In recent years, Farrell has become increasingly focused on advocacy for families with special needs children. He's particularly concerned about what happens to these individuals when they age out of childhood support system. To address this gap, he's established the Colin Farrell Foundation, which supports adults with intellectual disabilities, showing his commitment to long-term solutions rather than just raising awareness. What distinguishes Farrell's advocacy is his poetic articulation of both the struggles and beauty of special needs parenting. Today, James is a young adult, and Farrell continues to balance his acting career with his role as an advocate and father. His journey from Hollywood bad boy to devoted special needs parent offers a powerful testament to how children with disabilities can transform those who love them. Celebrity number 4, John Travolta. John Travolta and his late wife Kelly Preston experienced both the joys and profound heartbreak that can come with raising a child with special needs. Their son Jet, born in 1992, had autism and also suffered from Kawasaki disease, a condition that causes inflammation in blood vessels. From Saturday Night Fever to Grease, Travolta defined an era of American cinema that many of us grew up. Behind that charismatic smile, however, was a father navigating the complex challenges of raising a son with special needs, a stark contrast to the carefree characters that made him famous. What makes the Travolta family story particularly poignant is that it highlights both the challenges of raising a child with special needs and the devastating loss that some special needs families experience. Tragically, Jet passed away in 2009 at just 16 years old after suffering a seizure during a family vacation in the Bahamas. For years, the Travoltas were private about their son's condition, which led to speculation and rumors. After Jet's passing, Kelly Preston spoke more openly about their son's autism, explaining that he had experienced seizures throughout his life. Jet was autistic, he had seizures, and when he was very young, he had Kawasaki syndrome, Preston later revealed in an interview. The family's tragedy was compounded when they became victims of an extortion attempt related to the circumstances of Jet's death, a painful reminder of how vulnerable public figures can be in times of personal crisis. In the years following Jet's death, Travolta and Preston, who herself passed away in 2020 after battling breast cancer, honored their son's memory through charitable work. They established the Jet Travolta Foundation, which provides assistance to children with special needs and works to protect children from various hazards. Celebrity number 5, Brendan Fraser. Oscar-winning actor Brendan Fraser, beloved for roles in films like The Mummy and more recently acclaimed for his performance in The Whale, is also father to a son with autism. His son Griffin, now in his early 20s, was diagnosed with autism as a young child. What makes Fraser's story particularly compelling is how he's balanced protecting his son's privacy while still using his platform to advocate for autism acceptance. Unlike some celebrities who share detailed accounts of their children's lives, Fraser has been more selective about what he reveals, focusing instead on broader advocacy and awareness. In interviews, Fraser has spoken about how having a son on the autism spectrum has given him a unique perspective and ability to recognize others with similar challenges. He once noted that he can clock a person from across a convention room hall and know they have autism. This awareness has made him particularly attentive to fans on the spectrum who approach him at public events. Fraser has also been candid about the realities of planning for his son's future care. In an interview with Howard Stern, he addressed the question many special needs parents worry about: what will happen when they're no longer around to provide care? This willingness to discuss such sensitive topics has resonated with many families who face the same concerns. Perhaps what's most striking about Fraser's approach to advocacy is how he views his son's autism not as a tragedy, but as an integral part of who Griffin is. His perspective emphasizes acceptance rather than focusing solely on cures or treatments, a viewpoint that aligns with many autistic self-advocates who promote neurodiversity acceptance. As Fraser's career has experienced a remarkable renaissance in recent years, he continues to balance his professional success with his commitment to being present for his son. His journey reminds us that behind the scenes of Hollywood comebacks are often deeply personal stories of family devotion. Celebrity number 6, Toni Braxton. Grammy-winning R&B singer. Toni Braxton's journey as a special needs parent began when her son Diesel was diagnosed with autism at age 3. What distinguishes Braxton's story is her evolution in understanding autism and her advocacy approach over the years. When Diesel was first diagnosed, Braxton, like many parents, searched for explanations and even blamed herself. She initially worked with the organization Autism Speaks as a spokesperson, reflecting the perspective of many parents at that time who viewed autism primarily through a medical model focused on causes and cures. What makes Braxton's journey particularly noteworthy is how her views evolved as her son grew, and as the broader conversation around autism shifted toward neurodiversity and acceptance. In a remarkable turn, Braxton later announced that her son had no signs of autism after early intervention, a statement that sparked both hope and controversy in the autism community. While some questioned whether Diesel had been misdiagnosed or had simply developed coping strategies that masked his autism traits, Braxton's experience highlights the complex nature of autism and how presentations can change over time with appropriate supports. It also reflects the complicated emotions many parents navigate between celebrating their children's progress while acknowledging their ongoing differences. Braxton has spoken about the importance of early intervention, crediting it with her son's progress. "I am one of the lucky parents," she said in an interview. "Early diagnosis changes everything." This message has encouraged many parents to seek evaluations for their children rather than taking a wait-and-see approach. Today, Diesel is a young adult pursuing a modeling career, and Braxton continues to support autism awareness while respecting her son's growing independence. Her journey from a newly diagnosed parent searching for answers to a confident advocate celebrating her son's unique path illustrates the evolution many special needs parents experience over time. Celebrity number 7, Gary Cole. Actor Gary Cole, known for roles in Office Space, Veep, and NCIS, has been an autism advocate since his daughter Mary was diagnosed in 1995, at a time when public awareness about autism was still minimal. What makes Cole's advocacy particularly valuable is his long-term perspective, having navigated the autism journey for over 25 years. When Mary was diagnosed, autism resources were far more limited than they are today, and parents often felt isolated and unsupported. Cole has witnessed the evolution of autism understanding and services over decades, giving him unique insight into both progress made and challenges that remain. Cole has been forthright about the importance of early intervention and continuous support. "Seek answers, and the earlier the better," he advised other parents in an interview. This message of proactive engagement has encouraged countless families to pursue evaluations and services rather than delaying due to fear or uncertainty. Unlike some celebrities who have massive foundations or highly visible advocacy campaigns, Cole's approach has been more understated but consistent. He's used his platform to normalize autism discussions and remind parents that they're not alone, noting that you can ask any friend, any relative, and they'll be able to tell you about someone they know with autism. What's particularly notable about Cole's journey is how he's balanced respect for his daughter's privacy with his advocacy work. While open about being an autism parent, he's been selective about sharing personal details of Mary's life, modeling how public figures can raise awareness without exploiting their children's stories. Today, Mary Cole is an adult, and Gary continues his acting career while remaining a steadfast advocate for autism acceptance. His long-term commitment to autism advocacy, spanning nearly 3 decades, stands as a testament to the lifelong journey of special needs parenting. Celebrity number 8, Katie Price. British media personality. Katie Price has been extraordinarily open about her experiences raising her son Harvey, who was born with a rare genetic disorder called septo-optic dysplasia. This condition affects his vision and has led to other challenges including autism, Prader-Willi syndrome, which causes excessive hunger, and ADHD, What distinguishes Price's advocacy is her unflinching transparency about both the joys and significant challenges of raising a child with multiple disabilities. Unlike some celebrities who present a more curated view of special needs parenting, Price has allowed cameras to document her family's daily reality, including Harvey's behavioral outbursts, medical emergencies, and transitions to more independent living. Price's documentary Harvey and Me provided a rare window into the life of a young adult with complex needs and the difficult decisions parents face regarding their children's future care. The follow-up, What Harvey Did Next, chronicled his move to a residential college, a transition many special needs families eventually navigate. As Harvey has grown into a young adult, he's now in his early 20s, Price has become increasingly vocal about the inadequacies of support systems, particularly for individuals with complex needs who are transitioning to adulthood. She's used her platform to advocate for better services and to highlight the vulnerability of young adults with intellectual disabilities. What makes Price's advocacy particularly powerful is her refusal to sanitize or romanticize the special needs parenting experience. She's been honest about the physical demands, emotional exhaustion, and logistical complications that come with caring for someone with multiple disabilities. This raw honesty has helped many families feel seen and understood in their own struggle. Despite facing criticism for various aspects of her public life, Price's unwavering dedication to Harvey and her advocacy on behalf of disabled individuals has earned respect across the political spectrum. Her journey reminds us that behind celebrity facades are often complex family situations requiring immense strength and determination. Celebrity number 9, Jenny McCarthy. Few celebrities have generated as much discussion and controversy around special needs advocacy as Jenny McCarthy. The actress and television personality became an outspoken autism advocate after her son Evan was diagnosed in 2005. McCarthy's advocacy journey took a controversial turn when she became associated with claims linking vaccines to autism, a position that put her at odds with the scientific community. While she has since clarified that she is not anti-vaccine, but rather advocates for safe vaccines, her early statements contributed to ongoing public debates about vaccination. What's often overlooked in discussions about McCarthy's controversial stance is the genuine love and dedication she's shown as a special needs parent. Beyond the headlines, she's been deeply involved in her son's therapies and education, trying numerous approaches to help him progress and thrive. McCarthy has also evolved in her views over time. In recent years, she's focused more on promoting acceptance and supporting families than on causation theories. She co-founded Generation Rescue, an organization that provides information and resources to families affected by autism spectrum disorders. An interesting aspect of McCarthy's story is that her son's diagnosis has been the subject of confusion and speculation. Some reports have suggested that Evan may have been misdiagnosed and actually had Landau-Kleffner syndrome, a rare neurological disorder, rather than autism. McCarthy has maintained that her son was correctly diagnosed with autism, but has made remarkable progress through various interventions. Today, Evan is a young adult, and McCarthy continues to balance her entertainment career with her role as his advocate and support. Whatever one's view of her more controversial positions, her dedication to her son and commitment to helping other families navigate similar challenges is undeniable. Celebrity number 10, Jacqueline Laurita, reality television star. Jacqueline Laurita, known for her role on The Real Housewives of New Jersey, became an autism advocate after her son Nicholas was diagnosed with autism in 2012. What makes her story particularly compelling is that viewers of the show witnessed in real time as she recognized developmental concerns in her young son. Unlike some celebrities who kept their children's diagnoses private until they were ready to speak publicly, Laurita's journey unfolded in front of the cameras. Viewers watched as Nicholas, who had been developing typically, began to lose previously acquired skills around age 18 months, a phenomenon known as regression that occurs in some autism cases. Laurita's openness about the diagnostic process, her emotional reactions, and the family's adjustment helped demystify autism for many who had never had personal exposure to it. Her willingness to show her vulnerability, including tearful moments of frustration and grief, resonated with many special needs parents who recognized their own emotional journeys in hers. Beyond the show, Laurita became a dedicated autism advocate, co-writing a book titled Get It, a beauty, style, and wellness guide to getting your it together that included her experiences raising a child with autism. She's also been involved with various autism organizations and frequently shares resources with her social media followers. What distinguishes Lorita's advocacy is her practical approach to helping other families. Rather than focusing solely on awareness or acceptance in abstract terms, she regularly shares specific therapies, products, and approaches that have helped Nicholas, offering tangible ideas for other families navigating similar challenges. Today, Nicholas is a teenager, and Lorita continues to share updates about his progress while respecting his growing autonomy. Her journey from a reality TV personality to a respected autism advocate illustrates how personal challenges can evolve into purposeful advocacy that benefits a wider community. Celebrity number 11, Joe Mantegna. Actor Joe Mantegna, best known for his long-running role on Criminal Minds and as a voice actor on The Simpsons, has been a quiet but steady advocate for autism awareness through his experiences with his daughter Mia, who was diagnosed with autism as a young child. What makes Mantegna's advocacy approach notable is its consistency and longevity without seeking the spotlight specifically for his family's story. While some celebrities have made their children's diagnoses central to their public personas, Mantegna has balanced privacy with purposeful advocacy over several decades. Mantegna and his wife Arlene have been open about the initial challenges they faced getting appropriate support for Mia in the 1980s and early 1990s, when autism services were far less developed than they are today. Their persistence in finding resources for their daughter helped pave the way for her successful transition to adulthood. Today, Mia Mantegna is an adult living with autism who has pursued her own interests, including makeup artistry. Her father has spoken proudly of her accomplishments and independence, offering hope to parents who worry about their children's futures. She lives in her own apartment, she drives a car, she has a boyfriend, Mantegna has shared, highlighting milestones that many parents of newly diagnosed children fear might be unattainable. Beyond supporting his daughter, Mantegna has used his platform to promote inclusion and understanding of autism. He's been involved with various autism organizations and frequently participates in autism awareness events. His approach emphasizes dignity and respect for individuals with autism rather than pity or inspiration narratives. What's particularly valuable about Mantegna's advocacy is his long-term perspective. Having navigated the autism journey from diagnosis through childhood and into adulthood, he offers insights into the full lifespan of autism, something many celebrities newer to autism advocacy cannot yet provide. Celebrity number 12, Aidan Quinn. Actor. Aidan Quinn, known for his roles in films like Legends of the Fall and the TV series Elementary, has been open about his experiences raising his daughter Ava, who has autism. Born in 1989, Ava was diagnosed with autism at a young age, making Quinn one of the earlier celebrity voices in autism awareness. Quinn's perspective on autism has been shaped by his daughter's more significant support needs. Unlike some celebrity stories that focus on children with milder presentations, Quinn has spoken candidly about the substantial challenges Ava faces, including limited verbal communication and the need for ongoing support in daily activities. What makes Quinn's advocacy particularly significant is his willingness to discuss difficult topics that many special needs parents privately worry about, including concerns about his daughter's care after he and his wife are no longer able to provide it. This honest acknowledgement of the anxieties that keep special needs parents awake at night has validated the experiences of many families facing similar concerns. Quinn has also been outspoken about societal attitudes toward individuals with disabilities. He's advocated for greater inclusion and understanding, emphasizing that people with autism have valuable perspectives to contribute despite their differences in communication or behavior. Celebrity number 13, Ed Asner. The late actor Ed Asner, beloved for his roles in The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Lou Grant, and as the voice of Carl in Pixar's Up, became a passionate advocate for autism awareness and acceptance through his connection to his son Charles and his grandson, both of whom are on the autism spectrum. What made Asner's advocacy particularly powerful was his willingness to leverage his considerable influence in Hollywood to promote autism awareness at a time when it received far less attention than it does today. In 2003, he helped establish the Ed Asner Family Center, which provides mental health and enrichment programs for special needs individuals and their families. Asner was outspoken about the need for comprehensive support services for individuals with autism autism and their families. He particularly emphasized the importance of arts programs, which he believed could help individuals on the spectrum express themselves and develop their unique talents. Unlike some advocates who focus primarily on children, Asner highlighted the needs of autistic adults as well, an often overlooked population. His perspective was informed by his experiences with his adult son Charles, giving him insight into the lifelong nature of autism and the changing support needs across the lifespan. Celebrity number 14, Robert De Niro. Oscar-winning actor Robert De Niro has generally maintained a private personal life, but in 2016, he revealed that his son Elliot has autism. This disclosure came amid controversy surrounding the anti-vaccination documentary Vaxxed, which was initially slated to show at the Tribeca Film Festival, which De Niro co-founded. What makes De Niro's advocacy journey interesting is how it evolved from his initial reluctance to discuss his son's diagnosis publicly to becoming more open about his family's experiences. When he first acknowledged Elliot's autism, it was in the context of explaining his interest in discussions about potential environmental factors in autism, a topic that has generated significant scientific debate. Over time, De Niro has become more comfortable discussing his son's autism, though he continues to be protective of Elliot's privacy. He's spoken about the importance of researching all aspects of autism, while also emphasizing the need for better support services for individuals on the spectrum and their families. In 2017, De Niro appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and discussed how Elliot's involvement with sports, particularly tennis, has been beneficial for his development. This highlighted an important aspect of autism support that many families discover: the value of finding activities that align with a child's interests and abilities. Celebrity number 15, Sarah Palin. Former Alaska governor and vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin became a visible special needs advocate following the birth of her son Trig in 2008, who was diagnosed with Down syndrome prenatally. Palin's decision to continue her pregnancy after receiving the diagnosis became part of her political narrative during the 2008 presidential campaign. What makes Palin's advocacy noteworthy is how she integrated her identity as a special needs parent into her political persona, bringing visibility to Down syndrome at a national level. During her acceptance speech at the Republican National Convention, she promised that families of children with special needs would have a friend and advocate in the White House if she were elected. Palin has been outspoken about her belief in the inherent value and dignity of individuals with Down syndrome. Yes, we face extra fears and challenges, but our children are a blessing, and the rest of the world is missing out in not knowing this, she has stated, a sentiment that resonates with many parents of children with Down syndrome and other developmental differences. Beyond her political career, Palin has used her platform to advocate for increased support for families raising children with special needs. She's been particularly vocal about the importance of educational resources. Today, Trig is a teenager, and Palin continues to share occasional updates about his life while balancing respect for his privacy. Her journey illustrates how parents in positions of influence can use their platforms to advocate for greater understanding and support for children with special needs. Celebrity number 16, Denise Richards. Actress Denise Richards adopted her daughter Eloise in 2011 and later revealed that Eloise had been diagnosed with a chromosomal disorder that has caused developmental delays. Richards has been candid about navigating the uncertainty that comes with her daughter's rare condition. What makes Richards' advocacy approach distinctive is her emphasis on taking each day as it comes when dealing with a diagnosis that doesn't have a clear roadmap. Doctors don't really have a roadmap for her particular case, she has shared, a reality that many parents of children with rare conditions understand all too well. Richards has been open about adjusting her expectations and celebrating small victories. When Eloise said "Dad" for the first time at age 7, referring to Richards' husband Aaron Pfeifers, it was a major milestone that Richards joyfully shared with her followers. This focus on celebrating progress, however delayed, resonates with many special needs parents who mark developmental achievements on different timelines than typical families. Unlike some celebrities who have established foundations or become spokespeople for specific organizations, Richards' advocacy has taken a more personal form through sharing glimpses of their family life and the realities of raising a child with special needs. Celebrity number 17, Laura San Giacomo. Actress Laura San Giacomo, known for her roles in Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and the TV series Just Shoot Me, has been an advocate for individuals with cerebral palsy through her experiences with her son Mason, who was diagnosed with the condition shortly after birth. What distinguishes San Giacomo's advocacy is her focus on educational inclusion. When Mason was school-aged, San Giacomo found that existing educational options didn't adequately serve his needs as a student with physical disabilities, but typical cognitive abilities. Rather than accepting the status quo, she co-founded the pediatric Pediatric Therapy Network, which provides occupational, physical, and speech therapy services to children with special needs. San Giacomo has been a vocal proponent of inclusive education, arguing that students with disabilities benefit from being in mainstream classrooms with appropriate supports rather than segregated settings. This perspective has contributed to broader conversations about educational best practices for students with various disabilities. Unlike some celebrities who primarily share personal anecdotes, San Giacomo has engaged deeply with policy discussions around disability rights and education. She's used her platform to advocate for systemic changes that would benefit not just her son, but all individuals with cerebral palsy and other physical disabilities. Celebrity number 18, Greg Grunberg. Actor Greg Grunberg, known for roles in Heroes and Star Wars: The Force Awakens, has been a passionate epilepsy advocate since his son Jake was diagnosed with the condition as a young child. Jake's epilepsy has resulted in numerous seizures throughout his life, leading Grunberg to become one of the most visible celebrity advocates for epilepsy awareness. What makes Grunberg's advocacy approach unique is his use of humor and creativity to raise awareness about a serious medical condition. He founded Talk About It, an epilepsy awareness campaign that uses celebrities and social media to reduce stigma and provide information about seizure recognition and first aid. Grunberg has been particularly effective at leveraging his Hollywood connections to amplify epilepsy awareness. He's recruited numerous celebrity friends to participate in his awareness campaigns, extending the reach of his message far beyond what he could achieve alone. Beyond awareness campaigns, Grunberg has advocated for increased research funding and better healthcare policies for individuals with epilepsy. He's worked with the Epilepsy Foundation and other organizations to support families affected by the condition and push for medical advances. What's particularly valuable about Grunberg's advocacy is his emphasis on reducing the stigma and fear surrounding seizures. By talking openly about his son's experiences, he's helped normalize conversations about a condition that was historically shrouded in misunderstanding and sometimes even superstition. Today, Jake is a young adult, and Grunberg continues his epilepsy advocacy while balancing his acting career. His journey illustrates how parents can use their unique platforms and talents to advocate effectively for conditions affecting their children, potentially reaching audiences that might not engage with more traditional medical awareness campaigns. Celebrity number 19, Mia Farrow. Actress Mia Farrow has been a lifelong advocate for children with special needs, having adopted several children with various disabilities throughout her life. Her commitment to providing a home for children who might otherwise remain in institutional care represents one of the most sustained and comprehensive forms of special needs advocacy among celebrities. What makes Farrow's advocacy exceptional is its longevity and scope. Beginning in the 1970s, when adoption of children with special needs was far less common, Farrow made a conscious choice to adopt children with various disabilities, including blindness, intellectual disabilities, and cerebral palsy. This wasn't a one-time decision, but a lifelong commitment that she has maintained for decades. Farrow's daughter, Quincy, adopted from a background of poverty and substance exposure, and her son, Thaddeus, who contracted polio in an orphanage in India and used a wheelchair, are among the children with special needs she has raised. Tragically, Thaddeus died by suicide in 2016 at age 27, highlighting the complex mental health challenges that can sometimes accompany physical disabilities. Beyond her personal choices, Farrow has been an advocate for children with disabilities in developing countries through her work as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. She's brought attention to the disproportionate impact of war, poverty, and disease on children with disabilities, who are often among the most vulnerable in humanitarian crises. Farrow's daughter Dylan has articulated how growing up in a family that included siblings with various disabilities shaped her worldview. I grew up across the table from Moses, who has cerebral palsy, and next to my sister Quincy, born of a drug-addicted inner-city mother, and Min, who is blind. I could never have understood what it means to grow up blind or with cerebral palsy. I saw problems and needs, so the next thing you think is, okay, what are you going to do about it? This reflection captures how Farrow created a family culture centered on acceptance of difference and commitment to social responsibility, values that continue to shape her children's approaches to the world. Her journey demonstrates how personal choices can constitute powerful advocacy when they challenge prevailing norms and expand our collective understanding of family. As we've explored these 20 remarkable journeys, patterns emerge that transcend fame, fortune, and the particular diagnoses or challenges these families face. We see that regardless of resources or recognition, every special needs parent navigates similar emotional landscapes, from the initial shock of diagnosis to the ongoing adjustments, advocacy battles, and eventual recalibration of expectations and dreams. These celebrity stories reveal a universal truth. Special needs parenting transforms you. It demands a resilience you didn't know you possessed and reveals strengths you never realized you had. For many of these celebrities, their child's diagnosis became a catalyst that shifted not just their parenting approach, but their entire worldview, and in some cases, the trajectory of their careers and public lives. What's particularly striking is how many of these parents describe their special needs children as their greatest teachers, individuals who have shown them what truly matters in life, helped them develop greater empathy, and inspired them to use their platforms for purposes beyond entertainment or self-promotion. Yet these journeys aren't without their darker moments. Several celebrities have been candid about periods of denial, grief, marital strain, and overwhelming anxiety about the future. Their honesty about these struggles has helped destigmatize the complex emotions that accompany special needs parenting and validated the experiences of millions of non-famous families facing similar challenges. The evolution in advocacy approaches is also noteworthy. Some parents who initially focused on finding causes or cures have shifted toward acceptance and accommodation as their children grew. Others who once kept their family's challenges private eventually became vocal advocates when they recognized how their visibility could benefit other families. These evolving perspectives mirror the broader societal shifts in how we understand and approach disability. Beyond their individual stories, these celebrities collectively demonstrate the power of visibility and representation. When Sylvester Stallone spoke openly about autism in 1990, or when Sarah Palin brought her infant son with Down syndrome onto the political stage in 2008, they helped normalize conditions that were once hidden away. Their willingness to share their experiences has contributed to a cultural shift toward greater acceptance of neurodiversity and disability. Many of these celebrity parents have leveraged their platforms to create tangible change, establishing foundations, advocating for policy reforms, funding research, and creating more inclusive entertainment. Their efforts have helped improve outcomes not just for their own children, but for generations of individuals with special needs. Yet perhaps their most significant contribution isn't in grand gestures, but in the everyday normalizing of special needs parenting. When Holly Robinson Peete shares a milestone her son has achieved, or when Colin Farrell discusses the joy his son brings him despite his challenges, they help reshape public perceptions of what it means to raise a child with a disability. Their stories counterbalance the often negative portrayals of disability in media and culture, offering instead narratives of love, possibility, and meaning amid challenge. For the millions of non-famous special needs parents watching from home, these celebrity stories offer something precious: the knowledge that they are not alone, that other parents, even those with seemingly perfect lives, understand the mixture of heartbreak and wonder, exhaustion and pride that defines their daily experience. This sense of connection and shared understanding can be profoundly comforting in what is often an isolating journey. At the end of the day, these celebrities are not extraordinary because of their fame, but because they've embraced the extraordinary task of loving and advocating for children who experience the world differently. In this, they stand alongside millions of unnamed heroes, the parents in your neighborhood, perhaps even you, who rise each day to do the same. And that concludes our journey through 20 remarkable stories of celebrities raising children with special needs. What stands out most to me isn't the fame or fortune of these parents, but the universal emotions and experiences they share with all special needs families: the initial shock of diagnosis, the determined advocacy, the recalibrated dreams, and the profound love that drives it all. Whether it's Sylvester Stallone refusing to institutionalize his son with autism in the 1980s, Holly Robinson Peete challenging the nevers her son was given at diagnosis, or Colin Farrell finding redemption through his son with Angelman syndrome, these stories remind us that behind the glamour of celebrity lies the same human heart that beats in all parents, one that will do anything to secure a better world for their child. Remember at the beginning when I asked you to guess which celebrity made the biggest impact in special needs advocacy? The truth is, there's no single correct answer. Each of these parents has contributed uniquely to changing perceptions, increasing awareness, and creating more inclusive communities through their openness and advocacy. If you found these stories moving or informative, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're dedicated to bringing you content that celebrates the golden age of Hollywood while exploring the human stories behind the glamour. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Did any of these stories particularly resonate with you? Are there other celebrities raising special needs? Children whose stories you'd like us to explore? Your engagement helps us create content that matters to you. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of courage, resilience, and unconditional love. Until next time, this is Legacy News, celebrating the real-life heroes behind the Hollywood facade.